Hi students, how are you? I think you are all familiar with 4 basic mathematical operations, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Today in this session we are going to see about arithmetic operations, its approximation and estimation. Now we know that in the problem of addition, each one of the numbers is to be added is called an addend and the result of addition is called their sum. By the following steps, you can get a clear idea about addition. Step 1. We arrange the given number in columns. We write ones digit under ones column, tens digit under tens column, hundreds digits under hundreds column and so on. Step 2. We add the digits in each column taking the carryover, if any, to the next column to the left and add it along with the digits in that column. We continue this process till we add the digits in all the column. The following examples will make you to get the idea more clear. For example, add 4,36,289 and 4,78,657 and write the sum. How to find the solution? Arrange the digits of the given number in column form and add the column, we will get the answer, that is 4,36,289, it is called as addend, 4,78,657 as addend, we will get the sum as 9,14,946. I think now you all clear with the addition. Now coming to subtraction. Dear students, now we are going to do the operation as a subtraction. We know that in a problem on subtraction, the larger number from which we subtract the other number is called the minuend and the number which is subtracted is called the subtrahend. The result of subtraction is called the difference between the given numbers. To find the difference of two numbers, we take the following steps. Now, shall we see the steps? Step 1. We arrange the given number in column. We write ones digit under ones column, tens digit under tens column, hundred digits under the hundreds column and so on. But we mind it that the bigger number be on the top row. Step 2. Starting with ones, we go on subtracting column wise. If necessary, we borrow from the next column to the left. There is an example, it will make you clear more. 3,875, it is called as minuend, 2,683 is called as subtrahend. If we want to find the difference, then we will have to subtract it. If we subtract it, we will get the answer as 1192. I think you are all clear with subtraction. Now we will see about multiplication. We know that in a multiplication sum, the number which is to be multiplied is called as multiplicand and the number which is to be multiplier is called as multiplicationer and the result of the multiplication is called product. Now let us see an example. If we want to multiply 125 into 3, we will get the answer as 375. We have multiplicand as 125 and the multiplier as 3 and the product we are getting is 375. Now we will recall the various properties of multiplication. Come, let us see. Now we will see the properties of multiplication. The first property which we are going to see is order property of multiplication. Do you all know the product of two numbers does not change when the order of the number is changed. Thus, when you multiply 10 into 15, you will get the answer as 150 and in vice versa, if you multiply 15 into 10, we will get 150, the same number. So, this is the first property that is called as order property of multiplication. The second property is Grouping property of multiplication. What is this? The product of three numbers does not change when the grouping of the number is changed. This property is called as grouping property. We will see with an example. When you multiply 10 into 20 into 30, we will get the same answer when we multiplied 10 into 20 and we multiply the answer with 30. So, this property is called as grouping property of multiplication. The third one, which is called as distributive property of multiplication over addition. We see an example. When you multiply 23 into 10 plus 5, we will get the same answer if you multiply 23 into 10 and we will add with 23 into 5. So, this property is called as distributive property of multiplication over addition. Then the fourth property which we are going to see is multiplicative property of 1. Do you all know when you multiply any number with 1, we will get the same answer. That is the thing. You can see with an example, that is, if you multiply 536 with 1, we will get the same answer as 536. The fifth property is multiplicative property of 0. Do you all know if we multiply any number with 0, we will get the answer as 0. That is the multiplicative property of 0. Then multiplication of a number by 10, 100 and 1000. To multiply a given number by 10, just only insert the 0 on the right of the given number. Can you see an example? When you multiply 27 into 10, just add a 0 on the right side of the given number. We will get the answer as 270. To multiply a given number by 100, what we done it in the previous, we have to do it the same, but we have to insert 2 zeros on the right side of the given number. For example, if you multiply 76 into 100, we will get is 76, we have to add 2 0 behind this. So, we will get the answer as 7600. Now, if you are going to multiply 5347 by 486, how will you do it? First, put the number 5346 on the top and you put the multiplication symbol, and behind this you have to write it 486. If you want to multiply this both the numbers, the first thing we are going to do it, first you multiply 5347 by 6, you will get one value. Then if you multiply 5347 by 80, we will get the answer as 4,27,760. Then if you multiply 5347 by 400, you will get the answer as 2138800, and if you multiply 5346 into 486, we will get the answer as 2598642. So, that is the answer. By this way only we have to multiply two large numbers. Now, let us see about division. The number that is divided is called the dividend. The number which divides is called the divisor. The number of times the divisor is contained in the dividend is called the quotient. The leftover number is called the remainder. I hope the following example will make you a clear idea. If you divide 23,485 by 57, we will get the answer as remainder 1 and we will get the answer as quotient 412. How we will get it? The step first we have to do it. The divisor 57 is a 2-digit number. So, we have to consider the 2 digits, that is 23 from the dividend. But you can see that 57 is greater than 23. So, we have to take 3 digits, that is 234, and 57 is less than 234. Now, we find 57 into 4, the answer we will get is 228, that is less than 234. So, we write 4 at the quotient and 228 below the number 234, and we have to subtract it. The next step, what we have to do it, bring down 8 to the left of the difference 6, and get 68, because 57 is less than 68. So, we write 1 at the quotient and 57 below 68, then subtract. The next step, what we are going to do it, bring down 5 to the right of the difference, that is 11, thus we get 57 less than 115, also 57 into 2, that is 114, that is less than 115. So, we write 2 at the quotient and 114 below 115, then subtract. Thus, we get the difference 1 as the remainder. Check this answer also. How can we check the answer? If you multiply the quotient into divisor and if you add the remainder to it, we will get the dividend. In the above example, we can also check the answer. How can we check? We have to multiply the 412 into 57, then we have to add the remainder 1, we will get the answer 23,485. The next we will discuss about the estimation and approximation. You all heard that news that India drew with Pakistan in a hockey match watched by 51,000 spectators in the stadium of 40 million television viewers worldwide, and you may hear that approximately 2,000 people were killed and more than 50,000 injured in a cyclonic storm in coastal area of India and Bangladesh. You may also hear that over 13 million passengers and carried over 63,000 kilometer route of a railway track every day. Can you say that there were exactly as many people as the numbers quoted in this news? For example, in case 1, were there exactly 51,000 spectators in the stadium, or did exactly 40 million viewers watch the match on the television? Obviously not. The word approximately itself shows that the number of people were near about these numbers. Clearly 51,000 could be 50,800 or 51,300, but not 70,000. Similarly, 40 million implies much more than 39 million, but quite less than 41 million, but it should not certainly not 50 million. Therefore, the quantities given in this example are not exact counts, but are estimates to give an idea of the quantity. Where do we approximate? Could you able to imagine this? Imagine a big celebration at your home. The first thing you do is to find out roughly how many guests may visit you. Can you get an idea of the exact number of visitors? It is practically impossible. The finance minister of the country presents a budget annually. The minister provides for certain amount under the head education. Can the amount be absolutely accurate? It can only be a reasonably good estimate of the expenditure the country needs for education during the year. Think about the situations where we need to have the exact numbers and compare them with the situations where you can do approximate estimated number. Now let us see how to estimate to the nearest tens by rounding off. Look at the following. Find which flags are closer to 260. Find the flags which are closer to 270. Locate the numbers 10, 17 and 20 on your ruler. Is 17 nearer to 10 or 20? The gap between 17 and 20 is smaller when compared the gap between 17 and 10. So, we round off 17 as 20 correct to the nearest tens. Now, consider 12, which also lies between 10 and 20. However, 12 is closer to 10 than to 20. So, we round off 12 to 10 correct to the nearest tens. the numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4 are nearer to 0 than to 10. So, we round off 1, 2, 3 and 4 as 0. Then numbers 6, 7, 8, 9 are nearer to 10. So, we round off them off as 10. Number 5 is equidistant from both 0 and 10. So, it is a common practice to round it off as 10. Now, we will discuss about estimating to the nearest hundreds by rounding off. Is 410 nearer to 400 or to 500? Think over it. 410 is closer to 400, so it is rounded off to 400, correct to the nearest hundred. 889 lies between 800 and 900. It is nearer to 900, so it is rounded off as 900, correct to the nearest hundred. Numbers 1 to 49 are closer to 0 than to 100, and so they are rounded off to 0. Numbers 51 to 99 are closer to 100 than to 0, and so rounded off to 100. The number 50 is equidistant from 0 and 100 both. So, it is a common practice to round off it off as 100. Now, estimating outcomes of number situations. How do we add numbers? We add numbers by following the algorithm, that is the given method, systematically. We write the numbers taking care that the digits in the same place, that is ones, tens, hundreds, etc. are in the same column. We add the column of ones and if necessary carry forward the approximate number to the tens place as would be in the case. We then add the tens column and this goes on. Complete the rest of the sum yourself. The procedure takes time. There are many situations where we need to find answers more quickly. For example, when you go to a fair on a market, you find a variety of attractive things which you want to buy. You need to quickly decide what you can buy. So, you need to estimate the amount you need. It is the sum of the prices of things what you want to buy. A trader is to receive money from two sources. The money he is to receive is 13,569 from one source and rupees 26,785 from the other. He has to pay rupees 37,000 to someone else by the evening. He round off the number to the nearest thousands and quickly works out the rough answer. He is happy that he has enough money. Do you think that he would have enough money? Can you tell without doing the exact addition or subtraction? Shaila and Mohan have to plan their monthly expenditure. They know their monthly expenses on transport, on school requirements and groceries and milk and clothes and also on the other regular expenses. This month they have to go for visiting and buying gifts. They estimate the amount they would spend on all of this and then add to see if what they have to do would be enough. Would they round off to thousands as the trader did? Think and discuss 5 more situations where we have to do the estimate, sums or reminders. Did we use rounding off to the sample place in all of this? These are no rigid rules when you want to estimate the outcomes of numbers. The procedure depends on the degree of accuracy required and how quickly the estimated is needed. The most important thing is how sensible the guessed answer would be. To estimate sum or difference. So, When you estimate any sum or difference, you should have an idea of why you need to round off and therefore the place to which you would round off. Look at the following examples. In first, estimate 5290 plus 17,986. You can find 17,986 is greater than 5290. We want to round off to thousands. 17,986 may be rounded off to 18,000. 5,290 may be rounded off to 5,000. So, the estimated amount we can calculate is 23,000. Does the method work? You may attempt to find the actual answer and verify if the estimate is reasonable. The second thing is, if you want to subtract 436 from 5673, how can we subtract this? To begin with, we round off to thousands. Why? Because when you round off the number, it is easy to subtract. So, 5673, if we round off, it becomes 6000. 436, if we want to round off, it becomes 0. Then the estimated difference is 6000. This is not a reasonable estimate. Why this is not reasonable? Can you get the answer? To get a closer estimate, let us try rounding each number to hundreds. 5673 we can round off to 5700. 436 we can round off to 400. Then we will find the estimate difference, we will get the answer as 5300. This is the better and more meaningful estimate. How can we estimate a product? How do we estimate a product? What is the estimate for 19 into 78? It is obvious that the product is less than 2000. Why? If we approximately 19 to the nearest tens, we get 20, and then approximate 78 to nearest tens, we get 80, and we multiply 20 into 80, we will get the answer as 16,000. Now look at how we can multiply 63 into 182. If we approximate both to the nearest hundreds, we get 100 into 200, that is equal to 20,000. This is much larger than the actual product. So, what we have to do? To get a more reasonable estimate, we try rounding off 63 to the nearest 10, that is 60, and also 182 to the nearest 10, that is 180. We get 60 into 180, we will get the answer 10,800. This is a good estimate, but is not quick enough. If we now try approximating 63 to 60 and 182 to the nearest 100, that is 200, we get 60 into 200, and this number 12,000 is a quick and well as good estimate of the product. The general rule that we can make is, therefore, round off each factor to its greatest place, then multiply the rounded off factors. Thus, in the above examples, we rounded off 63 to tens and 182 to 100. Now, let us estimate 81 into 479 using this rule. We can estimate, that is 479 is rounded off to 500 and 81 to rounded off to 80. The estimated product is 500 into 80 is equal to 40,000. An important use of estimates for you will be to check your answers. Suppose you are done to the multiplication 37 into 1889, but are not sure about your answer. A quick and reasonable estimate of the product will be 40 into 2000, will get the answer as 80,000. If your answer is close to 80,000, it is probably right. On the other hand, if it is close to 8000, something is surely wrong in your multiplication. So far we have seen about the arithmetic operations, the multiplication, then division, addition and subtraction. Along with this, we have seen about what is approximation and estimation. I think you all enjoyed this session. I will hope you will all become success. Thank you, students.